And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson, 2 former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. Today, we've got 2 great games for FCS football for our Week 4 preview. We're going to be talking Idaho versus Abilene Christian and SEMO versus SIU, as well as some updates in just the general FCS landscape for how FCS football could look in the next 10 years. Before we get to that, though, Sean, can you share with our listeners a quick word from BetOnline?
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. I want BetOnline to be the number one source for everything moo dang. I want weight props. I'm in love with this baby hippopotamus. But we're here to talk FCS football, so I'm going to let you know that BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on their $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. Head to the website today to get in on the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So in the general landscape of FCS news, it was reported on today by friend of the show that doesn't know he's a friend of the show, Ross Dellinger, that the SoCon commissioner, Michael Cross, is presenting a new model for Division I football. So we're going from, at one point it was FCS 1A, FCS 1AA to FCS, FBS to now Subdivision A, Subdivision B. We're just changing the names, adding extra steps. The quote from Dellinger, Subdivision B will also be known as the Collegiate Premier Division that is committed to an education-based model, says UNC Asheville AD Janet Cohn. The draft is a 10-year plan where the hopes is that there is no change to the NCAA championship access and revenue distribution. So this whole concept to me, Sean, is hilarious, mostly for the fact that if this goes through, we're going to be welcoming back App State, Marshall, JMU, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Texas State, because most of those schools are not going to be fitted to compete in that upper division. They're just not. That maybe a couple of them sneak their way up. I think that there's some MAC programs. There's certainly maybe JMU. Maybe JMU is a program that fights tooth and nail to work their way up into that top division. But I'm laughing, one, at the thought of all of those folks that moved up and were too good for the FCS are back, and 2, I don't mind this. I actually kind of root for it because then this show becomes bigger. Like we literally have as one of the top FCS shows, even though there's only 2 other ones we're competing with, as one of the top FCS shows, we now have those other fan bases. And we used to have a lot of JMU fans that listen to the show. So welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the party. You can come sit down and hang out with us. We like to have fun here. We talk ball. We like to follow the funny stories. I hope you enjoy your stay as you come back to the lower level as you thought it was.
The idea of Delaware performing a Homer Simpson trying to escape the burning house, landing on the mattress, and going back inside the burning house,
and spending $5 million to do it. I don't know if Kennesaw didn't pay that, but you're right.
It's a fun idea for some reason. I don't know. There's a sickness, I guess, with the FCS fans that we all kind of acknowledge within ourselves. Where there's a bit of a you think you're better than me attitude, but at times, sometimes these programs are better than you. JMU was better than a lot of teams in the CAA for a long time. So if it's a make sense move, I'm going to respect it. I don't really like the CPS going with that, the Collegiate Premier Subdivision, or formerly known Child Protection Services.
The CPS podcast.
Yeah.
So wait, what side would we be on? Would we be on the side of protect, we're going and trying to protect kids, or we're just 2 deadbeat parents? Is that what that is?
Oh. I think we keep it light enough on the FCS show where we're actually protecting the kids.
Okay. I would hope that many people would. But yeah, that's a terrible name. That's an absolutely terrible name. I mean, I guess maybe the name of the pod would be the Collegiate Premier Subdivision Podcast. God, that sounds horrible.
Jeez.
Wait. Okay, wait. Here's my new proposal and the new name for this. It's obviously Hack City, but this is called the FCS Football Podcast. A part of Hack City is essentially what it is. Here's the new name for the show. A part of Hack City, the Division I AA, formerly known as Division I AA FCS, now known as the Collegiate Premier Subdivision Podcast. I think that's what we call it. And we should just make it one long acronym, and it should just be a bunch of letters.
You know what? I'm kind of on board with it. It's going to take a little bit of time to try to remember that and nail it every time. But as ridiculous as college sports and administration has been the last couple years, it feels appropriate to have an equally ridiculous name for a podcast tracking their maneuvers.
Yeah, I kind of need that. FCS fans also needed an update to the Toyota Stadium in Frisco, and it was revealed this week that they're announcing renovations. Craig Haley is the one I grabbed the article from. I don't believe he wrote the article, but he shared the information on the changes coming to the stadium. FCS fans, true FCS fans, and the ones that have been there for the championship game know that it's the premier spot. It is a part of the FCS lore that you go and you watch the game in Frisco, and it sounds like they're giving a pretty significant upgrade to the stadium as they're trying to attract. It sounds like it's more MLS focused.
Yeah.
Should be more FCS focused. The east side of it's going to be done in 2026. The full thing's supposed to be done by 2028. Some of the highlights: expanded seating capacity will increase by 175%. Suite capacity by 58%. They're adding a roof structure as well. Audio-visual technology is going to be bumped up. New suite level, dedicated club entrances. I wonder how much the club prices are going to go for the national championship. Maybe in the future we can go. Suite level, I already said. Modern club spaces that will have premium food, beverage, and entertainment options. If they don't have Chislik, I don't want to be in there. Increased concessions, 59% increase in concessions. Upgraded media facilities, which I'm sure they won't give us access to.
Why would they?
No beers in the press boxes, guys. Improved accessibility. You understand that reference?
Yeah, I do.
Improved accessibility. I still can't believe that's a thing, that somebody did that. That's the most FCS thing I've ever heard. Of a media member drinking beers in the press box. So freaking funny. Improved accessibility. More restrooms. So the real shitters can show up to the game. 26% increase in restrooms. Stadium field enhancements, improved drainage system. I don't know how much it rains in Frisco. And then the largest video board in MLS in a soccer-specific venue. I'm curious to see how big that's going to be.
It's hilarious. The MLS is kind of just tag teamed with lacrosse to also be the fastest growing sport in America. Okay, I know you're growing.
F the MLS. We don't give a crap.
Yeah, this is good for the FCS championship. Yeah. It's good for all the people that fly down and fly to Frisco, that drink out the plane, and they drink out Frisco when they're there. It's for the FCS drunks and fans to go have a good weekend in Texas. And having a better facility is good. Like, this is just a good thing. It's a good thing that we could note about a destination for the FCS getting better. As we have talked on the show, after championship games, when it looks shoddy, if the field doesn't look like it's been maintained that well, like, we have had gripes about the stadium, how it looks, the optics of the championship game, but improving the stadium definitely helps. Like, this is just a net win, I think, for the FCS, even though it's not taking place until after this year's championship game, the renovations. But enjoy the MLS team, Frisco. I'm sure that you guys will show up and sell at the stadium all the time.
Reiterating this, soccer sucks. We don't care.
Yeah.
All right, first game, SEMO, number 21 versus number 7, SIU. Premier matchup this weekend of the two ranked-on-ranked matchups. SIU coming off of a strong win last week, and SEMO looking to get potentially their first big ranked FCS win of the season. Right now, and you noted this, that DJ Williams is going to be out, who is the starting quarterback for SIU, who had a nice strong start to the season because he's getting surgery on his hand. That to me is the biggest talking point, because their defense has been great and Williams has been helping support them and keep them moving, and they're going up against a pretty proficient passing attack that SEMO has, led by Paxton DeLeone. It's also worth noting that currently, and I think that this is a little inflated after the Incarnate Word game, that they're allowing 335 pass yards per game and 8.31 yards per attempt. So there's a potential here that if SEMO does win this football game, it's going to be because they're able to take advantage of what's been an inconsistent secondary.
Yeah, the DJ Williams injury definitely hurts. Nick Hill expressed confidence in the next guy up, Hunter Simmons at quarterback, thinks he's capable and highlighted how his depth of knowledge for the playbook, which is good. I like hearing a head coach say something along the lines of that. But Williams was a real gamer. He was a guy that could keep on winning games for SIU with his legs and his arm. He was really good rolling out. He was good improviser. And he had a really good connection with Ryan Schwendeman, who is a total throwback tight end. I mean, he's just...
He's the most tight end name I've ever heard in my life.
Just a throwback. Who's your favorite old tight end of all time? This is what he looks like. He's just big, not that fast, sure-handed.
Big and what else, Sean?
He's a tank.
Yeah, but he's a total throwback. Yes.
Yeah, he's been a big focal point, so I'm hoping maybe Simmons can keep focusing on the tight end, because a good tight end in the FCS is just like a massive key to offense. We've seen how North Dakota State has taken over games and seasons with their tight end mixes. And then I think SIU is in for a tough one, though. New quarterback. SEMO is juiced up. SEMO does have a good offense. SIU's defense is good. They're strong. But DeLeone is on a tear to start the season. Tied for third in touchdowns, seventh in yards. He's legit. He's legit ball thrower for southeastern Missouri. God, what a mouthful.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, we've got a pretty premier matchup of receivers here. Keontae Lewis, who is the top receiver for SIU. He's averaging 91 yards per game. He's going to be important for Hunter Simmons, who's stepping in for DJ Williams. That, again, the quarterback situation, I think, is the biggest contingency here, and it sucks for SIU because it felt like they had a ton of upward momentum, especially the way that they played last week, that, you know, now you're throwing a new guy in. We were excited to see a completely different type of quarterback after Nick Baker, that they were playing this new fold of offense, and now you're losing a guy who was a dual threat due to that leg injury. Of course, Ben Bogle, who we talked about last week, has been just an absolute menace. He should be on the radar for the, oh my God, why am I?
Buchanan?
The Buchanan. Woof. Yikes. Ben Bogle, though, right now has 9 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 28 tackles. He has been relentless. That is just ridiculous production in all three facets here. He's probably going to be a top performer in all three of those categories because he has just been a menace on defense. One thing I just add in here for SEMO that stood out to me, they're struggling in a number of categories that I think that SIU is going to try and take advantage of. They're struggling to run the ball. We're only averaging 74 yards per game, 2.9 yards per carry. They're struggling to stop the run, which seems to be the strong suit for SIU. They're allowing 206 yards per game, and then they're really having a lot of issues on third down, only converting 36%.
This could be, you know how we talked about Iowa breaking out the wishbone and shaking up college football? SIU should do that this game. They should say, you already don't have a file on Hunter Simmons. You don't have a file, which is a disadvantage for SEMO, because you could prep for DJ Williams. You could say, we're going to put a spy on. We're going to say, okay, is he better in man or zone? We're going to focus on that. But now, where's the tape? How are you going to game plan? You're just saying, all right, go out and let's play base and see if we can make adjustments. That's tough for a defense. It's really tough for a defense to do when you don't have any file on a quarterback. So SIU has to get tricky with it. They have to make it a really clever run game and pass game. Wouldn't have Simmons playing out of his mind, but try to keep SEMO on their toes, because they will be, because they're going to have to start in base. You can't go out and start, trying to get a crazy mix going. It's not DJ Williams you're prepped for. So almost, it's weird to think that with a really good quarterback going down, the next game afterwards, SIU could still have a bit of an advantage, at least in the game design process.
I distracted myself mid-talking point. I meant to also bring up that SEMO, the receiver opposite of Keontez Lewis, DeLeone Anderson right now has 313 yards on the year and 19 receptions. He's 6'7", 200 pounds. I wanted to, if I've got time later today, I kind of want to flip on the All-22 of SEMO, because that is a physical outlier if I've ever seen one. I kind of wonder if this kid can play a little tight end if you put a little more weight on him. I mean, there's got to be something to him if he's got that many receiving yards and he's 6'7" and he's 200 pounds. There's something that people don't know about him. I would love to figure it out.
I think it's, hey, where the FCS try to find as many, where the 6'2" corners at. There's not that many at this level. And if they do, the feet ain't that right. Or they're just a big tackling DB. So it could be a big mismatch for SEMO versus SIU there.
I lean SEMO because of the quarterback situation. Where do you stand on this?
Oh, SIU's defense is so good. I think I might have to go SIU. I think I really have to think.
Really? That's not who you picked on?
Oh, my God.
FCS?
I talked myself into it. I'm switching up. Why not?
I don't know why you would talk yourself into it. We've got a new quarterback coming in for a team that's got a pretty porous secondary at the current moment. Maybe they step up and play better, but they've been quite porous with the amount of yards that they've been giving up. And then you've got a very proficient, consistent quarterback who's coming off of a 6-touchdown game. That feels like a no-brainer to me to go with the team with the better quarterback, the more experienced quarterback, dealing with an easier secondary to face off.
That's fine. I think SIU is going to get tricky with this, and SIU wins these weird, chaotic games, and they have the defense. I really like their defense. SEMO is not running the ball well, so it's going to be pretty one-dimensional. Hey, can we stop DeLeone from going and carving us up?
DeLeone. Say it correctly.
If we can stop him from carving us up, SIU could come out on top.
Idaho versus Abilene Christian, number 4 versus number 19. ACU is a team that I really want to see what they're cooking up. I want to see how they're going to square off with this Idaho team that has had a freaking gauntlet to start the season.
Yeah.
They said, F it, send everybody, send anybody and everybody, and we're gonna back ourselves into the corner and we're gonna come out swinging. We're down quarterbacks. We got all these injuries. F that. We're gonna come out and punch you in the face. That's exactly what the Vandals have done so far this season. They're so far I think my favorite team this year, just by the way that they're playing. Right now, Idaho, you mentioned here in our notes that Jack Wagner is going to be playing quarterback for them again in this game. They kind of got a little Idaho in them, Iowa in them, the way that they're not. And I believe I made this allusion earlier in the season that they're not exactly putting up a ton of points. They're kind of just doing enough, but their defense is insanely good, only allowing 16.67 points per game, 2.8 yards per carry. They've got 11 sacks on the year, led by Keyshawn Newby Johnson and Dallas Afalava. Is that how we think we pronounce it?
Afalava, maybe. It could be a softer
Afalava.
A, maybe.
They are so dominant on defense to help depict what they're like on offense. Currently 20% on third downs, which is such a key statistic. They've got to be better there.
Yeah, Idaho's defense is the key that is starting the car. While they're not great ranking-wise in total defense in the FCS, they've only given up 5 touchdowns. And they haven't played any D2 or D3 schools. They've given up
a shot at ACU.
No. Just other teams that are leading in the defensive categories that I could tell don't have a better defense, but they didn't have to play Oregon. 13 points in back-to-back games that they've led up against Wyoming and Albany, both better offenses than giving up 13 or only scoring 13 points. It says a lot about Idaho. Looking at ACU, Maverick McIver, what a name. What a guy. You saw it in week 1 when they're dueling with Texas Tech. Are you kidding me? This dude plays with his hair on fire. He is a gunslinger. He is going to distribute the ball. Every time he passes, it looks like a confident decision. I really like it. He's second in the nation in pass yards. This is the game plan. Let Maverick go back and launch that thing. And it works. ACU, this is the best Abilene Christian team I've seen. And this guy is a legit daughter. I am a big fan of what he's done to start the year.
His performance against Texas Tech now makes a lot more sense, as he was originally at Texas Tech. I did not know that. So that's an interesting layer here. He's very proud of being a part of this ACU program. Here's a new one. Here's a completely new one. This is something, and I'm apologizing ahead of time if there's any significance to this name, and if there's maybe like a misprint, but it does not look like there's a misprint because I checked multiple locations. Their top receivers, Blaine Taylor, 6'5", big body guy. He's been fantastic. First time I've ever seen Nehemiah Martinez the first. I've never seen the first on a name before.
That's kind of quirked up.
A little bit. I kind of like it. And if there's something we're missing here and we're being disrespectful, please correct me. But Martinez the first, I've never seen anybody call their shot like that. Like, there's gonna be a second.
Yeah,
that's what he's implying.
Normally you pick it up. Oh, maybe he's a junior. Maybe okay, we'll make this decision. No, he's saying, first of all, I'm having a boy. He's calling a shot there. Go ahead, I guess, if you're that certain that you're just going to be able to hit that one out the ballpark. I know
he was also a Texas Tech guy.
I know plenty of guys that think they're going to have a son, end up with like 3 daughters.
Yeah, the Texas Tech roster has him.
Oh, so they're out for blood against Texas Tech.
Nehemiah Martinez the first.
That's awesome.
So, but what I was trying to also get to though here, he's 5'9", 205. So they've got this like real interesting dichotomy of, you've got the big body threat in Blaine Taylor, and then you've got Martinez the first. It just sounds so cool to say Martinez the first, who is now your shifty after the catch type of guy. They've got a really, really balanced and well put together receiving unit that they're trotting out there.
Thunder and lightning normally works really well in the running back room. I don't mind it for the wide receivers. I think that's kind of that's fun. It reminds me of the Texans, where you have big Nico Collins and you have small Tank Dell, and they're both effective, and you can really start getting creative with the offense. How do we want to create space? How do we want to create contested catches, jump balls? It really kind of opens up the offense not to have everybody at the same 6 foot to 6'2.5" type range, where it adds another little layer where the defense has to be aware of. And also, I mean, this offense gets it rolling. 6.6 yards per play. Unreal. That is unreal just hearing it. Third in the nation also in total offense there, but that is a team that moves the rock and is going to keep taking shots. Idaho is going to be, I'm sure, prepared. This is not a Idaho watch out moment, because I know they're watching out, but Idaho watch out, because this team is going to try to move the ball on you.
This is the definition of styles make fights, where you have, it's almost like having Tennessee walk in to play Iowa. That's literally what this is. You've got the hard-nosed, lunch pail defense going up against the team that's throwing the ball all over the yard. That's just throwing up points on the board and scoring them in bunches. This one's going to be really interesting. I lean Idaho because I think that, especially at the FCS level, elite defense always shows up. It always, for any circumstance, it's always going to be there, as we saw against Oregon and against Wyoming. It's going to probably show up in this circumstance, but I wouldn't be stunned if this thing doesn't end with it being close scoring, because Idaho maybe has a little bit of trouble and gets forced into some third down spots where they're struggling to convert, and ACU finishes off just one last drive to win the football game. But again, I still lean the Vandals. They're the hot team, and I continue to ride them.
I will. Yeah, I know you ride them. I'm going to lean Idaho
this
also.
Campbell hat idiot, clean it.
What am I catching flack for? Now you're lashing out. Okay.
Yeah, that was an inappropriate comment you just made. Buffoon. It's a dirty hat. It's such a dirty hat.
See this hat. It's not. It's kind of dirty.
It's pretty dirty.
It's got a little bit of. You know what? Why am I doing? Why am
We're playing. Rhode Island's playing Campbell this week. You're wearing a Campbell hat? What a piece of crap!
They already beat Campbell.
Oh well, they played them last week. I forgot. Also, why didn't Rhode Island make it on the top 25?
Rhode Island. You got to be patient.
They were receiving a lot of. They were getting a ton of votes the first week when they beat Holy Cross.
Holy Cross is also picked apart. I'm leading Idaho in this game, if you wouldn't mind that I'm maybe just repping an FCS hat, nice stupid Giants hat in every clip.
Maybe
these Hack City shorts all look the same. Well, Joe only wears 2 fucking hats.
Who said that?
Me, I said that.
Oh, I was going to say, no one's paying attention that much. Jackass. Any final thoughts?
I think I'm going to lead Idaho in this matchup, simply because how could you not? Seeing what they've put, the performances that they put in every game so far this year, I am at least smart enough to not doubt them at this point.
All right, let's wrap up with FC estimates. No shocker here that Sean is dog-ass at this. He's 10 for 20, just a very stunning 50% on this season. Your boy goes 7 for 10 last week. Sean went 5 for 10. I'm 15 for 20 on the year. That's just a stellar, just such a beautiful record. I'm unstoppable. I can't wait to do the bets show tonight because I went 2 for 1 in both leagues. I'm climbing back. Sean's pooping his pants and everything that he does.
I am not pooping my pants, okay? Some teams didn't show up how I expected them to. Pooping my pants.
Western Carolina versus Montana, who you got?
I'm going to go with Montana in this matchup.
Give me the Grizz! ETSU versus Elon.
I am going ETSU.
Not buying on the one random good game from ETSU. Give me Elon!
Dumb pick. They're like worst in South Loud.
Furman versus William & Mary. William & Mary is who you going with?
William & Mary.
I'm going with William & Mary as well. Give me the Tribe. Tarleton versus North Alabama.
Tarleton.
John F. Tarleton. I forget what his full name was. I'm in his corner. SEMO versus SIU.
I flip-flopped. I am going SIU.
Paxton DeLeone is going to crap all over Sean. Give me SEMO to beat the Salukis. Northern Arizona versus Incarnate Word.
Incarnate Word, man.
Incarnate Word. That's a.
Watch out for the Lumberjacks, though, man. They are insane team. They're just insane.
Idaho versus ACU.
Idaho.
Potato Squad all the way. Idaho is the way to go, or you're a hoe. NCA.
Are you writing these down, or is this just off the top?
This is off the top of my head.
Oh,
I'm just a poet, a natural poet. NCA&T versus NCCU.
I will go with NCCU.
How is that not on a T-shirt? How is that not on a T-shirt?
I'm sure it is.
It's got to be.
I'm sure Chester and Rack have already made them, and they've been trying to distribute them like the freaking Catholics versus convicts tee, and it's just in Idaho. We have no clue about it because it's in Idaho.
Which game were we picking? I picked NCCU.
Yeah.
The Citadel versus Mercer. Who you got?
Citadel a little bit stronger this year, but I'm going Mercer and that menacing defense.
Give me Mercer, no Citadel.
I said Mercer.
No, I'm saying just to the Citadel. I'm not. I'm against the Citadel.
We're watching a man break down.
No,
here.
we're not. Brown versus Georgetown. That rhymes.
Give me Georgetown.
I'm trying to not make a poop joke here, but I'm going to go with Brown. I think Georgetown's overrated.
Oh. First time that's ever been said on this show. Georgetown is getting too much hype.
I think you're talking about the statement I said prior to that, which is I'm not going to make a poop joke.
No, I believe that's been said many times on this.
No, I don't think it has. I think we've just made the poop joke.
You're still a bad person because I'm still every time I go in that bathroom, I'm concerned that you're listening in.
I'm not listening in. When you make really loud noises in there, it carries. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It carries. I'm a grown man.
You're bouncing it off the bowl, man.
I'm just trying to have a nice passage, and I hear, "Oh my god!" What kind of environment is that?
I had headphones on, and I was listening to a recording, and I was editing, and I could hear it through all of that. Maybe you should get I don't know, some sort of noise canceling.
You think I should soundproof it?
Yeah, I think we should get you some soundproofing in your bathroom. We can do the podcast in there. The first ever podcast from the toilet. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, Hack City on YouTube. Subscribe, 5-star review wherever you tune in on audio. Hack City Pod on Twitter.
We want your FCS takes in voicemail form, please. 201-834-4308. If you want to congratulate us for being smart or call us morons. Regardless, leave a voicemail. 201-834-4308. You're an animal, Joe. You're an animal.
Bye, everyone.